The crystal towers of Zephira shimmered under the light of three suns, casting long, dancing reflections across the polished streets. The capital city was alive with sound and movement, but inside the highest tower, the palace was silent. Mike, the grand throne room. King Varian sat alone, staring at the empty space where his daughter once stood. Princess Lyra had been missing for 3 cycles of the outer moon. 3 cycles that felt like an eternity to Varian. No messages, no sightings, nothing. The alien empire's spies had scoured nearby systems, yet there was no sign of her. His advisors whispered nervously, avoiding his gaze, for even they knew the deeper truth. If the princess was gone forever, their world would never be the same. Varian's thoughts returned to her last mission, a diplomatic journey to a distant star system, meant to strengthen alliances with a fragile neighboring race. It had been a mission of hope, but now it seemed only to have brought loss. Far across the galaxy, on a small blue planet called Earth, the morning sun rose over quiet cities. Alex Carter adjusted his helmet as he stepped out of the shuttle. His mission was simple: survey uncharted planets in the Xiphon belt for potential resources. He was young, yes, but humans had a way of adapting, thinking quickly, and solving problems that even more advanced races struggled with. It was this adaptability that had earned him the assignment. Alex had only been on Xiphon belt for a week when his instruments started picking up unusual energy readings. At first, he thought it was a glitch. The signals were erratic, like nothing recorded in the human database. Curious, he traced the signals to a small barren moon at the edge of a dying star system. When Alex landed, the surface was rocky and jagged, with deep crevices that glowed faintly from strange minerals below. As he explored, his sensors detected a faint life form, a signature unlike any human or Zephyran species. He followed it carefully, keeping his energy rifle at the ready. Then he saw her, a figure lying amidst broken rocks, unconscious. Her skin shimmered faintly like the light reflecting off Zephira's crystal towers, and her hair flowed like liquid silver. "Princess Lyra?" Alex whispered, though he had no way of knowing for sure. Her eyes opened slowly, and she gasped for air, weak but alive. Alex approached cautiously. "You're safe now," he said. "I'm here to help." Lyra looked at him with confusion and suspicion. "A human?" she asked softly, her voice trembling. How did you find me?" I followed a signal," Alex admitted. "It led me here." He hesitated, unsure if she would trust him. "Are you alone?" She shook her head. Memories of the mission flashed in her mind. The ambush by merciless space pirates, the crash landing on this desolate moon, and the long, lonely days spent trying to survive. "Yes," she whispered. "Until now." Alex quickly assessed the Yai situation. The moon was unstable. Seismic activity was increasing. They didn't have long before the surface started breaking apart. "We need to leave," he urged. "Now." With careful effort, Alex helped Lyra to her feet. Despite her weakness, she moved with grace, her royal training evident in every step. She noticed Alex's human techniques, improvised methods to navigate the rocky terrain, and reluctantly, admiration grew inside her. Humans were clever, she realized, even if they seemed fragile compared to Zephyrans. They reached an ancient shuttle, half buried in the rocks. Alex activated it, using a combination of human technology and guesses about alien systems. Sparks flew, alarms beeped, and for a moment Lyra feared the shuttle would explode. But then it hummed to life, and a small lift rose from the surface. As they lifted off, Lyra gazed down at the desolate moon. It was beautiful in a harsh, lonely way, and it had been her prison for weeks. She shivered, thinking of her father, the king, and how he must feel believing she was lost forever. Alex noticed her gaze. "You have a palace," he said. "You must be important." Lyra looked at him sharply. "I am a princess." "My father is King Varian of Zephira." Alex nodded slowly. "Then we need to get you home." The journey through space was tense. The dying star system was unstable, with meteor storms and radiation belts. Lyra, unused to human technology, clutched at the controls nervously, while Alex kept the ship steady. They shared small stories along the way. Lyra of her childhood in the Crystal Palace, Alex of Earth and humanity's small victories in space exploration. It was strange, this alliance between a human and an alien princess. Yet both began to understand something crucial. They complemented each other. Where Lyra had training and strategy, Alex had improvisation and courage. Where he saw danger, she saw opportunity. Together, they were stronger, but danger was never far away. During their journey, a predator from the nearby asteroid belt attacked. It was massive, with armored scales and sharp claws, hunting anything that moved. Lyra froze for a moment, but Alex acted without hesitation, steering the shuttle sharply and using the ship's limited weapons to drive the creature away. Lyra's eyes widened. "Humans," she whispered, realizing the depth of his courage. Alex smiled faintly, though tension remained. "We survive because we think fast," he said. "Sometimes that's enough." As Zephyra's signals came into range, Lyra felt a surge of hope. Home was near, but she also knew that returning wouldn't be simple. Her disappearance had left political ripples, and not all factions would welcome her back. "Alex," she said softly, "you will have to meet my father." Alex swallowed nervously. "A king, huh? Sounds intimidating." Lyra gave a small smile, something between amusement and exasperation. "He may be, but he will listen if you show courage and honesty. He has no reason to hate humans. Yet." Alex laughed lightly, trying to mask his nerves. "Then I guess it's a good thing I know a little about both." Below them, the stars of Zephyra's system glimmered, and the palace awaited. King Varian would soon learn the truth, that his daughter was alive and that a human had played a key role in saving her. He didn't yet know whether to welcome the human as an ally or see him as a potential threat. Lyra looked at Alex again, gratitude and determination in her eyes. "I survived," she whispered, "and together we will return." The shuttle raced through space, engines humming steadily, carrying them toward home. Behind them, the dying moon disappeared into darkness, leaving only memories of struggle and survival. Ahead, the crystal towers of Zephyra awaited, shining like a beacon of hope, and perhaps a new beginning for human and alien alike. As they approached Zephyra, Alex felt a thrill he had never known on Earth. Adventure, responsibility, and the strange honor of being part of something greater than himself. Humanity's resilience was being tested on a scale larger than any planet or city, and for the first time, he realized just how much humans could achieve. Princess Lyra, sitting beside him, felt something similar. Though wary of the future and the political challenges awaiting her, she felt hope. She was alive. She had found an unlikely friend, and together perhaps they could face anything. The stars of Zephyra stretched out before them, and in that moment, both human and alien understood the same truth. Survival was not just about strength. It was about courage, ingenuity, and trust. The shuttle hummed steadily through the empty darkness of space, leaving behind the dying moon where Princess Lyra had been trapped for so long. Despite the quiet hum of the engines, tension filled the cabin. Lyra sat silently, her silver hair drifting with zero gravity, staring at the blinking control panels. Alex, sitting opposite her, checked the navigation systems over and over, ensuring their course to Zephyra was safe. The journey was not easy. The space between the dying star system and Zephyra's capital was riddled with hazards, asteroid fields, rogue comets, and unpredictable radiation bursts. Many species had lost ships here. But Alex, relying on human ingenuity, used the shuttle's sensors to calculate a safer path. He created makeshift shields by rerouting energy from the engines to the hull, a technique no Zephyran would have thought of. Lyra watched him in awe. Humans might seem fragile, but their minds were quick, and their solutions often unpredictable. "Are you sure that will work?" Lyra asked nervously, eyeing the unstable asteroid belt ahead. Alex grinned. I hope so. If not, we'll make it. Work on the way down. She shook her head, a small smile forming despite the fear. You humans are reckless, but clever. Hours passed as they navigated the dangerous belt. Meteors scraped past the shuttle, sometimes too close for comfort. Lyra's hands hovered over the controls, ready to assist, but she trusted Alex's instincts. His calm focus in life or death situations amazed her. She realized then that bravery was not about strength. It was about thinking fast when everything else seemed impossible. Suddenly, the shuttle's sensors went wild. A massive predator appeared, sliding through space like a shadow. Its body was covered with armored plates and its eyes glowed with intelligence. It had been stalking them, drawn to the shuttle's energy signature. Alex's heart raced. Hold on, he shouted, twisting the controls to dodge the creature's claws. Sparks flew as it swiped at the shuttle. Lyra's eyes widened. She had fought pirates and survived hostile worlds, but the predator's speed and size were terrifying. This way, Alex barked, guiding the shuttle toward a cluster of small moons. Using their gravitational pull, he managed to shake the creature off briefly, but it was not gone. Lyra, noticing the predator's pattern, suggested, we can trap it between the two moons. It won't be able to maneuver fast enough. Alex raised an eyebrow. Not bad. For a princess. Working together, they lured the predator into the gap between the moons. The creature crashed into a rock, its roar echoing through space. Alex sighed in relief. Humans and princesses make a good team, he said, smiling. Lyra laughed lightly, though her nerves still trembled. After the encounter, silence returned. Lyra looked at Alex. I should have trusted humans sooner. You saved my life. Alex shrugged. We all survive because we try. Sometimes luck helps too. The two sat quietly, watching the stars. Despite the danger, a sense of companionship grew between them. Lyra realized she had been alone for too long, and Alex understood that he was part of something far bigger than any Earth mission. Days passed, and they finally reached the edge of Zephyra's system. The palace's signal shone like a beacon in the distance. Lyra's heart raced with anticipation. She remembered her father's last words before her mission. Return safely, my daughter. The Empire waits for you. But returning home would not be simple. Zephyra's military scanners were strict, and any unidentified vessel approaching the capital was treated as a threat. Alex noticed the warnings flashing across the console. We're about to be detected, brace yourself. Lyra nodded, her hands trembling slightly. She had survived so much, but this was different. This was her home, and the reactions of her father and the alien council were unknown. As they approached the orbiting defenses, alarms blared. Zephyra's fighters scrambled to intercept them. Alex acted quickly, using the shuttle's limited capabilities to signal peace. We mean no harm, he shouted over the comm system, though he doubted the aliens would understand a human voice. Lyra, seeing the hesitation in the fighters' movements, activated a holographic emblem of the royal family. The signal displayed the princess's crest in vibrant colors. The fighters paused. Some hesitated. Others scanned the shuttle, unsure if it was a trick. Finally, a voice came over the comm. Identify yourselves. Lyra's voice rang out, clear and commanding. I am Princess Lyra of Zephyra. This human, Alex Carter, is my companion. We returned from a mission that saved my life. There was silence. Then one of the lead fighters lowered its weapons. Prepare to be escorted to the palace. Relief washed over them, but Alex noticed Lyra's expression. She was not just relieved, she was apprehensive. Returning to the palace meant facing her father, political rivals, and questions about her disappearance. During the escort, Lyra explained the events on the dying moon, the pirates, the predator, and how Alex had helped her survive. Alex remained humble, focusing on the journey and their narrow escape rather than seeking praise. As they entered the upper atmosphere of Zephyra, the city below sparkled like a sea of stars trapped in crystal. The shuttle descended toward the landing platform where guards waited. Lyra's heart pounded. Her father, the king, would be waiting inside the palace gates. Would he be angry? Would he be proud? The shuttle landed with a soft hum, and the platform doors opened. Alex helped Lyra step out. The sight that greeted them was breathtaking. The palace rose like a mountain of crystals, and at the highest balcony stood King Varian himself. His armor glimmered in the sunlight, his eyes scanning the crowd before finally landing on his daughter. For a moment the king did not move. His face was unreadable. Then a sharp intake of breath escaped him. Lyra stepped forward, bowing slightly out of respect. "Father," she said softly. Varian's eyes softened, but his voice remained steady. "Lyra, is it truly you?" I'm alive, Father," she replied, tears glimmering in her eyes. "And I have returned with a friend, a human named Alex Carter." The crowd gasped. Humans were known in Zephyra's history as brave but unpredictable. To have one accompanying the princess was unheard of. Whispers spread quickly. Could a human really be trusted? Alex stepped forward, bowing respectfully. "Your Majesty, I am honored to have helped the princess. I mean no harm to Zephyra." Varian studied him carefully, noting the confidence and honesty in Alex's posture. He could sense human courage, something different from the Zephyran way of thinking. Humans relied on instinct and ingenuity, qualities that even the wisest alien minds could not always predict. The king finally spoke. "Very well. You will stay under guard in the palace. We will see if your presence is acceptable." Lyra breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Alex had passed the first test, but the political challenges were just beginning. Rival factions within the council had already noticed her return, and some would not welcome the princess back. As they walked toward the palace gates, Lyra whispered to Alex, "You have no idea what's coming. Not everyone will be happy to see me or you." Alex nodded. "Then we face it together. Humans survive, princess. We find a way." Lyra looked at him, feeling a mix of hope and determination. She realized that her survival was not just about escaping danger. It was about proving that humans and aliens could work together, that courage and ingenuity could bridge worlds. Inside the palace, guards cleared a path, and servants watched, in awe at the sight of a human walking alongside the princess. Rumors would spread quickly. The princess was alive and a human had helped her. Some would be jealous, others curious, and a few would see an opportunity to use Alex to their advantage. But Lyra focused on her father. She needed to explain everything, and she needed his trust. The journey had tested her in ways she could never have imagined. She had learned that survival required courage, quick thinking, and sometimes the help of an unexpected friend. Alex, walking beside her, felt the same. He had faced dangers no human had ever faced, but he had also discovered something greater than adventure. Humans had value not just in strength or numbers, but in creativity, bravery, and loyalty. The palace doors opened, and the air inside shimmered with the soft glow of Zephyran crystals. They stepped through together, ready to face whatever awaited them. The next chapter of their journey was about to begin, one filled with political intrigue, tests of loyalty, and the slow building of a bond that could change the galaxy forever. But for now, Lyra and Alex had survived. They had crossed the stars, faced predators, and returned home. And in that moment, that was enough. The palace of Zephyra was even more magnificent than Lyra remembered. Crystal towers stretched high into the sky, reflecting sunlight like prisms, and the grand halls inside were adorned with shimmering murals depicting centuries of Zephyran history. Yet beneath the beauty, tension lingered. Lyra felt it in the air, political currents shifting, whispers echoing through the corridors, and eyes watching every step she took. Alex followed closely behind her, trying not to be overwhelmed. The palace was unlike anything on Earth. The walls seemed alive, subtly glowing with energy, and the floors reflected the light in a way that made it feel like walking on water. He had faced dangers in deep space, but navigating alien politics was a different kind of challenge. Lyra led him to the throne room where King Varian waited. The moment they entered, the king rose from his seat, his expression a mixture of relief and guarded authority. "Lyra," he said, his voice strong yet carrying a trace of emotion, "you have returned. But tell me everything." Lyra bowed, respectfully, then began recounting her story. She told of the mission to the distant system, the ambush by space pirates, and the crash on the desolate moon. She spoke of survival, of alien predators, and of Alex who had helped her escape. Alex remained silent at first, unsure of how a human could explain themselves to an alien king, but when Lyra turned to him, he nodded and spoke clearly. "Your Majesty, I am Alex Carter from Earth. I found your daughter on a moon where she was trapped and in danger. I helped her survive and brought her back. I mean no harm to Zephyra." Varian's eyes studied Alex closely. Humans were rare in Zephyra, and most aliens regarded them as unpredictable. But he sensed something different. There was courage in the human, a quick mind that thought in ways Zephyrans often did not. The king's gaze softened slightly. "You saved my daughter?" Varian asked, his voice low. Alex nodded. "We saved each other in a way. She trusted me and I trusted her." Lyra smiled faintly. "Father, he is honest. He risked his life to help me survive." The king paused, considering this. Then he spoke to his council, which had gathered in the throne room. "Let it be known," he said, "that Princess Lyra has returned. Her life has been preserved and she is unharmed. This human has aided her. We will treat him with caution, but also with respect." Whispers spread through the council. Some were curious, others wary. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but Alex's actions had saved a royal life, a fact no one could deny. After the initial formalities, Lyra and Alex were escorted to private quarters within the palace. Lyra's rooms were as splendid as she remembered, filled with crystal sculptures and soft lighting that shifted colors with the time of day. Alex's quarters were simpler but comfortable. A human would find it sufficient, and he appreciated the thoughtfulness. Once they were alone, Lyra turned to Alex. "We are not completely safe yet," she said. "There are factions in the council who will see your presence as a threat, father included." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Your father?" He just seemed, impressed. Lyra shook her head. "Impressed? Yes. But he is cautious. Humans are unknown to him, and some council members might try to use you to manipulate me or the king." Alex frowned. "Then we face it together. We already survived worse." Lyra nodded. "Yes, but now we must survive court politics." Over the next few days, Alex and Lyra navigated the palace carefully. They attended council meetings where leaders debated trade, defense, and the mysterious disappearance of the princess. Many council members were curious about Alex. Some questioned his loyalty. Others were intrigued by his ingenuity. Alex realized that while Zephyrans valued strength and tradition, humans brought something new: adaptability. Where a Zephyran would have hesitated, a human would improvise. Alex subtly demonstrated this during a discussion about a failing defense satellite. He suggested rerouting energy to power shields temporarily, a human solution that Zephyran engineers had overlooked. Some council members frowned, unwilling to admit a human might be smarter in certain situations, but others nodded in approval. Lyra watched, quietly proud. "He is teaching them without even trying," she whispered. But not all was calm. A rival, faction led by Counselor Therix, had already begun plotting. Therix had long envied Lyra's position and had expected her disappearance to weaken the king's influence. Now, seeing her returned with a human companion, he seethed. He whispered among his followers, spreading doubt about the human. "They have no idea what humans are capable of," Alex said one evening, leaning against the balcony overlooking the city. "Some might see me as a tool, others as a threat. Either way, we need to be careful." Lyra nodded. "You have already earned my father's respect, but Therix, he will test you. He will try to make you fail." Their first true challenge came sooner than expected. During a ceremonial gathering of the council, an urgent alarm sounded. Scouts reported a fleet of hostile alien raiders approaching Zephyra's outer orbit. Panic rippled through the hall. The council debated strategy, arguing over defense and diplomacy. Alex watched quietly, analyzing the situation. Humans often looked at problems differently, not just through protocol or tradition, but through innovation. He noticed that the raiders' trajectory left a small gap in the outer defenses. He raised his hand. "Your Majesty, I have an idea," Alex said. "It is risky, but we can use it to our advantage." The council murmured in disbelief. Humans rarely spoke in such gatherings, and even fewer suggested action. Lyra's eyes met his. She nodded subtly, signaling him to continue. Alex outlined his plan. A small team would use fast, maneuverable ships to lure the raiders into the gap, forcing them into a trap. It relied on timing, precision, and daring, all things humans excelled. Advarian considered it carefully. "It is bold, reckless," he said, "but it may be our only chance." He turned to Alex. "You will lead this mission?" Alex swallowed nervously. Yes. I will do my best." The mission began immediately. Alex commanded a small fleet, using Zephyran ships alongside his human tactics. They darted through the outer orbit, baiting the raiders and drawing them toward the prepared trap. Lyra monitored from the palace control room, her heart racing as the plan unfolded. It worked. The raiders fell into the trap, their ships immobilized by energy nets. Zephyran forces moved in, capturing the invaders without significant losses. The council erupted in applause, impressed by Alex's ingenuity. Councillor Therix, however, was furious. "A human? Leading our forces? This is blasphemy!" he shouted, but even he could not deny the outcome. Lyra stepped forward, addressing the council. "Alex saved lives today, not because he is human, but because he acted with courage and intelligence. That is what matters." Her words echoed in the hall, leaving some council members inspired and others begrudgingly respectful. After the battle, Lyra and Alex stood on the palace balcony, overlooking the city. Sci-Fi's citizens cheered for the victory, unaware of the human who had saved them all. Lyra placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "You did well," she said softly. "The king trusts you, and the council, at least some of them, respects you. You have proven that humans are not just survivors, they are heroes." Alex smiled, feeling a mix of pride and relief. "I only did what was necessary. Humans survive, Lyra. We find a way, even when the odds are against us." Lyra's eyes glimmered with hope. "Then perhaps the galaxy is ready for something new, humans and Zephyrians working together." But even in that moment of triumph, shadows lingered. Councillor Therix had not given up. He would test Alex, test Lyra, and try to sow discord in the palace. The journey was far from over. Alex realized that surviving space battles was one thing, but surviving palace intrigue and alien politics required another kind of courage. The human spirit, he knew, would be their greatest weapon. As the twin suns of Zephyra set, casting a golden glow across the crystal towers, Lyra and Alex prepared for the challenges ahead. Together they had survived death in space, alien predators, and now the complexities of royal life. And together, they would face whatever came next. Because humans, Lyra realized, could endure what even the most advanced aliens sometimes could not. The palace lights shimmered as night fell, reflecting in Alex's eyes. Adventure, danger, and the unknown awaited them. But for the first time he felt at home among the stars, beside a princess who had survived against all odds, and within a kingdom that might yet learn to value the courage of humans. The crystal corridors of the palace glittered under the twin suns, but their beauty could not hide the tension simmering beneath. Princess Lyra and Alex moved carefully through the halls, aware that not all eyes welcomed them. Some council members still whispered behind closed doors, plotting against the princess and her human companion. Lyra had learned to trust her instincts in the past weeks. She knew who was loyal, and she could sense who was scheming. Alex, though human, had quickly adapted to the palace environment. He noticed subtle signs others missed, a shift in tone, a half-hidden glance, or the way a hand hovered near a weapon. His quick thinking and human intuition complemented Lyra's experience. That afternoon, an urgent alarm echoed through the palace. The main council chamber doors slammed open as guards rushed in, eyes wide with alarm. "Coup attempt," one shouted. "Councillor Therix and his followers have mobilized troops to seize control of the palace." Lyra's heart pounded. She had suspected this, but seeing the threat unfold so quickly was alarming. "Alex," she said, gripping his arm, "we need to act fast. We cannot let him take the palace and the kingdom." Alex nodded. "Lead the way. I'll cover you." They raced through the palace, reaching the security control room. With human ingenuity and Lyra's knowledge of the palace systems, they quickly assessed the situation. Therix's forces had infiltrated key areas, but there were weaknesses. Certain energy locks had not been activated, a chance for them to counterattack. "Here," Alex said, pointing at a map of the palace. "We can lock down the lower levels and trap them in the central courtyard. They won't expect it." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Then let's move." They split their forces. Lyra coordinated the loyal guards while Alex manipulated the palace systems. He rerouted energy to the defensive doors and activated holographic decoys, confusing Therix's troops. The palace corridors became a maze of light and shadow, giving the loyalists the upper hand. Therix, realizing his plan was failing, grew furious. "How is this possible? A human, an outsider, has turned our defenses against us," he shouted, pounding his gauntleted hand on a console. Alex, focusing on his work, ignored the insults. "Sometimes outsiders see what insiders miss," he muttered. Meanwhile, Lyra led her loyal guards through hidden passages, ambushing Therix's troops before they could reach the throne room. Her movements were precise, her strategy flawless. A princess trained not only in diplomacy but in combat. With Alex's technological improvisation, their small force became unstoppable. At the main courtyard, Therix confronted them, surrounded by his remaining loyal followers. He raised a weapon intending to strike Lyra, but Alex acted first. Using a combination of speed and clever gadgets, he disarmed Therix's weapon, causing it to spark and explode harmlessly. Lyra took the opportunity, stepping forward. "It is over, Therix," she said firmly. "Your rebellion fails because you underestimated the courage of those who fight for the kingdom, and the ingenuity of those you called outsiders." Therix snarled, but he was powerless against the combined efforts of Lyra, Alex, and the loyal guards. The rebellion was crushed within hours. Therix and his followers were secured, and the palace returned to calm. King Varian entered the courtyard, his armor glinting in the sunlight. He approached his daughter and Alex, his eyes filled with a mixture of pride and relief. "Lyra," he said, voice steady but soft, "you have returned not only alive but triumphant. And you," he looked at Alex, "you have shown courage and wisdom beyond what I expected. You have earned my respect." Alex bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I only did what I could to help." Varian smiled faintly. "You have done more than help. You have shown that humans are capable of extraordinary things. Their ingenuity, courage, and determination are qualities we can respect and even admire." Lyra's eyes filled with tears of relief. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe, not just from external threats, but from the political machinations that had haunted her return. Alex had become more than a companion. He was a trusted ally, and together, they had saved the kingdom. In the days that followed, the palace settled into a tense but stable routine. Lyra spent time with her father, discussing the future of the kingdom and how to rebuild trust after the coup attempt. Alex continued to demonstrate human ingenuity, helping improve palace defenses and training loyal guards in innovative strategies that Zypherans had never considered. One evening, Lyra and Alex stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns were setting, casting golden light across the crystal towers. "You've changed everything," Lyra said softly. Alex smiled. "No, we changed everything. Humans alone could not have done this, and neither could you alone. Together we make a difference." Lyra nodded. She realized that humans brought something Zephyrin's lacked: unpredictability, courage under pressure, and the ability to see solutions in impossible situations. "Then, perhaps the galaxy needs more humans," she said with a small laugh. Alex chuckled. "Maybe. But for now we focus on Zephira." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden message from the outer defenses. Another fleet had appeared on the edge of the system, this one larger and more aggressive than before. It seemed the galaxy was not yet done testing Zephira, or humans for that matter. Alex's eyes gleamed with determination. "Looks like we have more work to do." Lyra clenched her fists. "Then we face it together. Whatever comes, we are ready." The next days were a whirlwind of preparation. Alex studied the enemy fleet, analyzing their ships and tactics. Zephyrin engineers marveled at his methods, rerouting energy, predicting movements, and even improvising new weapons. Humans could think differently, adapt, and act in ways Zephyrins could not. Lyra observed closely, learning from both the human and the alien perspectives. When the enemy fleet finally approached, Zephira was ready. Alex led a coordinated defense, combining human improvisation with Zephyrin precision. Ships darted through space, energy shields glimmered under heavy fire, and strategic maneuvers forced the enemy into retreat. Once again, humans had proven their value, not just in survival, but in shaping the outcome of conflicts that could have destroyed worlds. After the battle, the palace erupted in celebration. King Varian addressed the citizens and the council, praising Lyra and Alex. "Today, we have seen courage, ingenuity, and loyalty. We have learned that alliances, even unexpected ones, can make us stronger. Let this day be remembered as the day humans and Zephyrins stood together to protect our future." Lyra looked at Alex, her gratitude unspoken but deeply felt. "I could not have done this without you," she whispered. Alex smiled. "We did it together. Humans survive, Princess, and sometimes we even thrive." Even Counselor Therix, now under strict guard, could not deny the human's brilliance. His hatred simmered, but for now the kingdom was safe. Lyra had returned, not just alive, but stronger. She had faced betrayal, danger, and political intrigue, and she had survived, thanks in part to a human companion who refused to give up. As night fell over Zephira, the stars reflected in the crystal towers, and the palace hummed with life. Lyra and Alex knew that peace was temporary. The galaxy was vast, full of challenges, threats, and opportunities. But together, they had proven that courage, intelligence, and trust, qualities humans embodied in ways even aliens could admire, could overcome the impossible. And somewhere in the shadows, Therix plotted anew, unaware that his failure had only strengthened the bond between a princess and a human, a bond that might one day change the fate of Zephira and beyond. Lyra turned to Alex. "The galaxy won't wait for us to be ready," she said softly. "We need to be stronger, smarter, faster." Alex nodded. "Then we will. Humans always find a way." As they looked out over the city, the crystal towers shimmering under the twin moons, both realized the truth. Survival was not enough. To thrive in a galaxy full of dangers, they needed courage, ingenuity, and allies who could think beyond limits. And in that moment, Lyra knew one thing for certain: humans were capable of remarkable things. The night was quiet, but the future was anything but. The morning sun bathed Zephira's crystal towers in golden light, making the city sparkle like a living jewel. Inside the palace, Princess Lyra and Alex stood before the council, preparing for the day's most important meeting. After the recent coup attempt and the battles in orbit, the kingdom needed stability, and Lyra had a plan. But the true challenge was convincing her council, and her father, that humans could be trusted as allies, not just tools. Alex glanced around the chamber. He had seen suspicious glances, whispered conversations, and wary stares. But he also saw hope in Lyra's eyes and determination in King Varian's posture. This was their chance to prove that humans were more than survivors. They were innovators, diplomats, and partners. Lyra began speaking, her voice steady and commanding. The threats we face are greater than any single species or kingdom. Humans have proven their courage and ingenuity in ways we could not have imagined. I propose a formal alliance between Zephyra and Earth. Murmurs rippled through the council. Some members were hesitant, wary of placing trust in a species so different from their own. Others were intrigued, remembering Alex's actions during the coup and the orbital battles. Alex stepped forward. Your Majesty, council members, I speak for humanity. We value courage, loyalty, and intelligence. We face challenges by working together, thinking quickly, and adapting. Together, humans and Zephyrians can protect the galaxy from threats too great for either species alone. Varian studied Alex carefully. The human's words were simple, yet filled with conviction. He could sense honesty, determination, and the spark of ingenuity. He nodded slowly. Your words have weight, Alex Carter. You have proven yourself capable, not just in battle but in strategy and diplomacy. The Council will consider your proposal seriously. Councillor Therix, still under guard, scowled. He had expected humans to be weak, unpredictable, or easily manipulated. Instead, he had witnessed one human outthink him at every turn, saving the princess and the kingdom. His anger simmered, but for now he had no power. Over the next days, Lyra and Alex worked tirelessly to strengthen the alliance. Alex helped redesign Zephyra's defensive systems, introducing strategies that combined human improvisation with Zephyran precision. Guards learned new tactics, engineers adapted human methods, and slowly, even the skeptical council members began to see the value of humans. Meanwhile, Lyra focused on diplomacy within the palace. She reassured her father, negotiated with hesitant council members, and subtly managed Therix's remaining influence. Her leadership shone, but she often sought Alex's perspective. Humans approached problems differently, she realized, seeing angles she might have missed. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the city, Lyra and Alex walked along a balcony overlooking the bustling streets below. Citizens were celebrating the recent victories, unaware of the human who had played a pivotal role. You've changed more than the council or the kingdom, Lyra said quietly. You've changed me. I see things differently now. Because of humans, Alex smiled. We survive by adapting, Princess. Humans always find a way. You've shown me the same. Leadership, courage, loyalty. Together, we're stronger. Before they could speak further, an urgent alarm echoed through the palace. Scouts reported a fleet of unknown ships approaching Zephyra. Unlike previous raiders, these ships were heavily armed, larger, and seemed organized with advanced tactics. The council scrambled to respond. Alex immediately analyzed the incoming fleet. They're coordinated, not random attackers. Whoever they are, they've studied Zephyra's defenses. They might be a coalition from neighboring systems. Varian turned to his daughter. Lyra, you and Alex will lead the defense. This will test the strength of our alliance. Lyra nodded. We are ready, Father. The fleet approached, weapons, systems charging. Alex coordinated with Zephyran engineers implementing traps and decoys. He introduced a human tactic, unpredictable maneuvers combined with targeted strikes to confuse the enemy. The fleet hesitated, unable to predict their next move. Lyra commanded the fleet from the flagship, issuing precise orders. Her decisions reflected a balance of human ingenuity and Zephyran strategy. Ships darted through space. Energy shields glimmered under heavy fire, and the enemy's advance faltered. Hours passed. The battle was intense. Zephyran forces, guided by Alex's innovations and Lyra's leadership, slowly gained the upper hand. The enemy fleet, frustrated by the unexpected tactics, began retreating. Victory belonged to Zephyra, and to the humans who had proven themselves indispensable. When the battle ended, The palace erupted in celebration. King Varian addressed the citizens and council, praising the courage and ingenuity that had saved them. "Today," he said, voice echoing through the halls, "we have witnessed the power of unity, the strength of courage, and the brilliance of human ingenuity. Let this day mark the beginning of a new era. Scifi and Earth shall stand together, protecting each other in the galaxy." Lyra looked at Alex, gratitude and admiration shining in her eyes. "We did it," she whispered. Alex smiled. "No, we did it together. Humans survive, yes, but we thrive when we fight alongside allies like you." The council formally accepted the alliance. Humans were recognized as valued partners, not outsiders. Alex was given an honorary title and allowed to act as a liaison between Earth and Scifi. His ingenuity, courage, and quick thinking had earned him respect beyond measure. In the following weeks, the kingdom adjusted to the new reality. Trade agreements were established with human colonies. Scifi engineers began studying human technology, and both species shared knowledge in ways previously unimaginable. Lyra and Alex became symbols of cooperation, courage, and friendship between two very different civilizations. Even Councillor Therix, once a bitter rival, was contained and monitored. He could no longer threaten the kingdom, but he remained a reminder that vigilance was always necessary. One evening, Lyra and Alex stood on the balcony once more, overlooking the city. The twin moons reflected in the crystal towers, and the lights of the capital glimmered like stars. "What happens next?" Lyra asked softly. Alex looked at her, determination in his eyes. "We continue. Humans will help Scifi grow stronger, and Scifi will help humans. Together we can face anything the galaxy throws at us." Lyra smiled. "I think we make a good team." Alex chuckled. "The best. Humans survive, Princess, and sometimes we even inspire hope." As they watched the stars, a new era began. Scifi had survived coups, alien threats, and political intrigue. The galaxy had witnessed courage, ingenuity, and the value of human determination. The princess had returned home stronger than ever, and the human who had risked everything to save her had earned his place among aliens. In the heart of the palace, the twin symbols of Scifi and Earth glowed together, representing unity, trust, and courage. For the first time in generations, the kingdom looked toward the future with hope. And somewhere in the shadows, beyond the edge of the galaxy, new challenges awaited. But Lyra and Alex knew this. Humans and Scifi standing together could meet any threat. Courage, ingenuity, and trust had proven stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than any enemy. Together, they had survived. Together, they had triumphed.